What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Hussle. Make sure you go check out my new music video I just dropped on my music channel, King Hustle X1M, called Camp with Me. Go like, share, comment, subscribe, run them views, them comments, and them likes up. About to be dropping a lot of new music videos, new albums, new mixtapes real soon. So make sure y'all tapped in. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So when I do, you'll be notified. You can go run them likes, comments, and the views up. And hey, that's how I do my freebie. So let's get to it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Hustle. And yes, this is the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you will be the first one to be notified. You will be the first one to know what's going on. And hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell on all the YouTube channels. Also, make sure you follow me on my Twitch, King Hustle Live. I do all my freebies and giveaways from those YouTube channels and that Twitch. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell so you won't miss out on nothing. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is click the title on every video. Once you click the title on every video, at the bottom in the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right. Got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out there, so please get a FaceTime verification call or video to make sure you see this face. Make sure you are doing legit business and you are getting what you pay for. All right. And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, my real Hustle Nation Empire family members. And we are back at it again with the gems, back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's going to turn you into a what? Yep, a boss. So you tired of being a zero? You ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat, get your notepad and get your pen because you already know when I drop those videos and y'all get these notifications, it's going to be some information that's going to help you win. Oh, all right. And in today's video, we were talking about credit, CPNs, loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. It's a lot of people out there that's been asking me about CPNs and why people are using CPNs and why they so popular and what's going on and how are people doing this and doing that with CPNs. So today's video, I'm gonna just dropping some gems and giving some information on CPNs and why they're so popular and what's really going on in the world right now because it's a lot going on in the world right now. It's a lot of people trying to figure out how to get some money, trying to figure out how to get ahead in life, trying to figure out how to evolve, trying to figure out how to get some money. And people are literally resorting to anything and everything that they can do that they see to make it happen. And a lot of different things are happening. A lot of people are misguiding people, misleading people with information. A lot of people are giving people information that's being beneficial to them. All right. So today we're gonna talk about CPNs, credit, loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. All right. So a lot since COVID-19. Before COVID-19, nobody. People have always been wanting to open up businesses and be successful and be entrepreneurs. But before COVID-19, there was not a lot of people in the world that was paying attention to credit. Nobody was really paying attention to credit. A lot of people in the world was just focused on getting a lot of money and just living life, right? So after COVID-19, they created the PPP loans for people for businesses who are impacted because the world was shut down. So they was giving out this money to help continue to pay payroll, keep your business afloat. A lot of businesses got millions and millions of dollars. And if you also did the forgiveness part, you wouldn't have to pay it back. It's a lot of people out there that are small-minded, simple-minded, doesn't use their brain, doesn't really think about the outcome, doesn't really think about what's really going on. So a lot of people created fake businesses and applied for PPP loans and got funded. And once they got funded, they went and bought Lamborghinis, houses, designer clothes. The whole world was millionaires and rich. So a lot of people, as the time went on, the world got better. A lot of people didn't do the forgiveness part. So those banks wanted their money back. Like, okay, y'all got to start paying this money back. And then they started digging a little deeper and started to see how fraudulent a lot of these businesses was. So a lot of people got millions of dollars fraudulently. Some people even got millions of dollars fraudulently and did the forgiveness. And hey, but a lot of people didn't. Rappers, celebrities, a lot of people. So by them doing that, they went to jail or whatever. So after COVID-19, people seen how people got millions of dollars utilized in business credit and funding. So now everybody turned into a credit guru. Everybody want to start getting businesses. Everybody want to start getting loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. Everybody want to start getting their personal credit together. Everybody want to start diving into the credit world. And after COVID-19, CPNs were created. And a lot of people don't understand that what CPNs are, what they're doing, and what's really going on. A lot of people need to know what's really going on, because people are buying things that's having them go to jail. So you got CPNs, quote unquote, credit privacy number, credit profile number, all made up, does not exist. The government did not create something called a CPN. So that's one fact. Two, synthetic identities. Synthetic identities were created for people in the witness protection program when they got out of jail. People, they snitched on people, they changed their name, identity, and all this different type of stuff like that, so people can't find them and they can live a whole new life, right? So that's why synthetic identities were created. People find loopholes in anything and everything that they can find when it pertains to money. If there's money being made, there's going to be some type of fraud or some type of scam being committed, and that's just how the world works. So people start seeing that you can get millions of dollars in business funding, millions of dollars, and in order to do that, you have to have the right credit profile. So now people want to do credit. Everybody want to be involved in credit. Everybody want to get credit because they're under this impression that credit can get them millions and millions of dollars, which it can. So now people want to get their credit together. And now everybody want this loan, this credit card, that credit card, want to open up this business, that business, do this and do that, because they're under the impression that it's going to get them rich. And it's a lot of those same people that doesn't understand that just because you have an LLC and an EIN number and you say you got this business does not mean you're going to be successful. It does not mean that the man upstairs is going to drop down 100 customers that's going to be loyal to you and your business, is going to shop with you all day, every day, that's going to help you grow. No, you have to build that. And a lot of people who start businesses actually have businesses and been running this operation, whatever product that they're selling, whatever service that they're offering for quite time now, because it's building a business is not overnight. You have to build clientele. You have to continue to produce great product, great services that's going to have people continuing to coming back. Like, this takes time. So a lot of people don't understand that. So a lot of people say, you know what, I want to start this business. I'm going to get my LLC and my EIN number. And then they see the amount of money that you have to invest into starting a business and they don't have it. So then they say, I'm going to do this later when I get some money or when I get my taxes or whatever. Then tax time comes and they got to do other things. And it just continues to get put off to the side without actually investing into that business or product or that service, building a brand, building a platform, building a clientele for it, and then properly structuring it so you can start getting into the business world. So a lot of people actually don't want to start businesses, actually don't want to be entrepreneurs. They just want the money and the perks that come with it. So people started to say, okay, you can create synthetic identities. If there are numbers out here that have not been issued to people, then there should be a way for us to do the exact same thing that these people are doing, getting these loans, credit cards, and lines of credit, and not be obligated, quote unquote, to pay it back. So that's how the fraudster or the scammers are thinking. Because at the end of the day, their goal is to get as much money as they can the easiest way as possible. Now, it might, when they think about easy, they mean by not having to rip and run all day, not have to sell their body. They just doing things from the comfort of their surroundings or their environment where they don't have to do too much. So people figure out different ways, because at the end of the day, the government, these systems, these apps, these programs is all in the matrix. That's why everything is coded. Everything is ran off code. That's why it's easy there's always some type of compromise. There's always some type of hack. There's always something going on, because everything runs off code and off systems, off these platforms that can be intercepted, that can be hacked and can be compromised. So, and people don't understand that. People got to start waking up and stepping outside the box, turning around and seeing what's really going on out here in the world. Because when you do, you'll really lock in and start really moving a different way, and really it gets real. So everybody wants to get loans. Everybody wants to get credit cards. Everybody's under the impression that these businesses will get them rich automatically. People know that loans is money that's lent to that you have to pay back. There's people out here that's even that's still to this day asking what other PPP loans are out there. That was a once in a lifetime thing that probably will never be another. And people got to understand that if it's a loan, they're lending you money and you have to pay it back. A grant is where you are granted money that you don't have to pay back. And that's what people don't understand the difference. So if it's a loan, you're paying it back. It's a grant, you don't have to pay it back. They granted you this, they gave you this. So they didn't lend you this. So people want to figure out how they can get the money without having to pay it back. Easy as that. So they start saying, okay, in order to get these loans, credit cards, and lines of credit, it has to be a person. It has to have a credit profile. It has to have good credit. There's no other way around it. So how can we create these synthetic identities, create new people, create new credit profiles so we can do this so we'll have to come back on to us? So people, there are CPNs, there are pre-built CPNs and synthetic identities. So CPNs are basically credit profiles or credit profiles that are created utilizing numbers that have not been issued yet, and a whole new credit profile is now created. Name, and a lot of times when people create CPNs, they actually use their see. This is what people don't people who create CPNs, they use their real information. Well, not, but because you got to think how many Jasmine Williams is out here, how many Jasmine Smiths, how many Brittany Johnsons is out here, how many there's so many people out here in the world with the same name. So they figure out that okay, instead of utilizing another name and all that, I'm just gonna use my same name, new address, new information that's connected to this number that has not been issued. So it's the same thing when I get pulled over, they're gonna give the same name. They're gonna give this new number, and it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? So that's why they use basically the same information, but not the same information because it's easier. So then they try merge the CPN, getting it in the public records. Now a lot of people see knowledge. This is why knowledge is power, because knowledge, doing your research, and figuring out things will help you in any and every way that you want. And scammers and fraudsters do a lot of research. They figure out things. So they get these numbers that have not been issued. They create them, and then they say, okay, I need to get a bank account. I need to start generating a credit score on it. So they get secure credit cards utilizing their own money, and then they find banks that don't use the check system, because there are banks out there that don't use the check system. And basically the check system is basically showing all the bank accounts that you had and everything that was going on. So if you 30 years old and 40 years old and you go to they go to a bank that they use that system and it's popping up, you never had it, it's going to be a red flag. So what they do is they find banks that don't use or pull it from the check system, and then they open up accounts there. Like, so once they open up accounts there, now they have a bank account. So now if they do go to a bank to pull from there, it's going to pop up that they have a bank account. So, but they basically mainly just utilize banks that don't use check systems. So then they got a credit score on all three credit profiles now because they've been paying on this secure credit card for 3 to 6 months. They got a bank account because from a bank that doesn't pull from a check system. So now they got a credit profile, they got credit score, they got a bank account, and it's the exact same thing people do with their original credit profile. They start getting trade lines, they start building it, and they start doing it because you're not. This is what people don't understand. CPNs, real CPNs, you have to build from the ground up. Well, people build from the ground up. You get trade lines. They do the exact same thing the average American would do to build their credit profile. Now, this is where people get confused. So you got pre-built CPNs, and pre-built CPNs are basically identity theft. It is identity theft because there's no way that somebody can have a pre-built credit profile. There has to be a name, a social security number, an address. There has to be a real life person in order to build that. So people out there find ways to get other people's credit profiles, and they create fraudulent documentations, fake IDs, and then they try to go apply for it, utilizing that person's credit profile to apply for loans, credit cards, and lines of credit, get cards and things like that. But what the problem with those are, because I would listen, if anybody out there is buying, wants to buy or looking for or know somebody or are in the process of, don't do it, because I didn't watch, we didn't did some reaction videos on people using CPNs, and people don't understand that there's a lot of key factors that comes into IDs and things like that. So people understand that with fake IDs, people don't pay attention to the little things. So for example, let's say somebody is using this pre-built CPN, they got this fake ID connected to it. First of all, this person information, it might be a white male, 6'5", 350 pounds, used to play football, that's 52 years old. But here it is, you, the scammer or the fraudster or the person who brought the pre-built CPN, is a 22-year-old male, 5'6", 22 years old, looks nothing like this person, utilizing this person's information, so driver's license number and all that. So understanding that all they got to do is run the driver's license number or scan the ID card, and a real person's information will pop up: picture, height, weight, all that. And that's what a lot of times people are doing. Sometimes people utilize these pre-built CPNs, get cars, and then the actual person calls because they're getting alerts. Because a lot of times people actually have LifeLock. People got certain apps and things that's monitoring their credit profiles, that's monitoring their accounts. So if anything suspicious is happening, they're going to get an alert. Like when people get cars and things like that, you got Experian or any account, you're going to get an email, you're going to get an alert. Like, is this your new trade line for this or something like that? So people got to understand that when you're utilizing somebody else's credit profile, they're going to get 9 times out of 10, they're going to get an alert. And a lot of times they call that dealership or that place, say, hey, that's not me, which will allow them to trick that person to coming back and getting arrested. It happens all the time. So people get these, and see, this is another thing. I'm gonna drop down and get your eagle on with this IDs because it's ridiculous. So IDs, people create these fake IDs. They be brand spanking new, but the problem is the pictures be too big, the holograms don't be there, the information be so bogus. Like, y'all gotta understand, if it's a brand new ID and y'all got issued 3 years ago, there's no way this ID is gonna look like that. If you got a 3-year-old ID, it's gonna have some wear and tear. Point blank period. From it being in your wallet, you sliding it up and down so many times, it's wearing off, all different type of stuff. People don't understand that. So there's no way for your ID to look brand spanking new, no folds, no bends, no scratches, and it was issued 3 years ago. So a lot of people mess up on IDs with that. The year it was issued, it don't make sense. It just be then the information is all they gotta do is run the driver's license number and see if it's coming back to that person right there. So a lot of times people just make up driver's license numbers and then it don't come back to nothing. So then they gotta fingerprint you. So utilizing these pre-built CPNs is not suggested. I would not ever suggest anybody to buy anybody's credit profile and get a fake ID, because the risk and the reward is not what you think. Y'all see all these crazy minded people utilizing or promoting it. Y'all not using y'all brains. Like I said, I did a lot of reaction videos, a lot of cop cam videos of people utilizing pre-built CPNs, and they get busted all the time because that's not a pre-built CPN. That's identity theft at its finest. And eh, y'all gotta understand that at some point in time, it's gonna get caught. Like, it's gonna get alerted. It's gonna be alerted. It's gonna be an investigation open. So them pre-built CPNs, if it's coming with a credit score already, a credit profile, that's a red flag. No, it's a no-go. Don't use those. Don't put yourself in that position. And then sometimes people use babies' social security numbers. Sometimes people use, because like I said, if it's a baby under a certain year old, you can go down to the My bad, y'all. You can go down to the office and get that information, those documents, like a new birth certificate and all that. So like, if the baby under a certain age, you can go down to the office without the baby being present and get the new documentation with the name and all that. So people know information, do their research, and figure things out like that. So and then people use homeless people to utilize their credit profiles and things like that because they actually got the person. So it's a lot of different ways people utilize CPNs and why they're so popular, because people are actually getting away with it. People are actually getting loans with, and that's another way people utilize people credit profiles and go get credit cards, open up bank accounts, and deposit fake checks. Like, people figure out any and every way they can to utilize somebody else to get some money, and that's just the real deal spill. So that's why credit and quote unquote CPNs are so popular right now, because it's a black cloud just floating over the world right now. That's why so many scam calls, so many fraud text messages, emails, all this stuff is going on right now. It's like, it's abundance of it, so much. Like, there's so much that they made a feature on our phones to block out the spam callers, the Indian scammers, the Nigerian scammers, like the American scammers. Like, it's so much going on. So like I said, it's all about being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware. Getting life locked, monitoring your accounts, protecting your accounts, getting alerted if anything happens, anything suspicious happens, getting freezing your credit reports, your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experience, so nobody can get anything in your name. These debit cards and credit cards, after so often, switching them out, because every time you use your card somewhere, that information is now stored in that database, and it's so much compromising and so many skimmers and so much hacking going on in the world that you never know. So it's just all about being safe. After so long, get new cards with new numbers, so wherever that card number was previously stored is no longer valid. Keep yourself safe, and just paying attention to what's going on in the world, because the information that I be giving you y'all is very valuable. I did a reaction video. Somebody was like, "Oh, somebody said this is a second chance credit," and every time they get caught, what's the first thing they do? They narc, they tell. So it's just all about being safe, being more cautious, and being more aware out there. All right. So shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, because without y'all, there'd be no me. Y'all motivate me keep going. Y'all motivate me keep dropping the sauce, and y'all motivate me keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there is tired of being broke, because it ain't no joke, let's get to work. FaceTime 101 limited gyms are $1,000. But for limited time only, I'm doing it for 600. Yes, 600 Cash App or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on your Cash App or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know you payment ready, and we will go from go from there. All right, no screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions, and please do not yell me. Also, make sure y'all booking y'all seat on the crypto tour. In person limited gyms, 3,500, $500 deposit. The rest of the money when we meet in person. Make sure y'all book y'all seat on the month-long mentorship, 30 days, 2,500. Anything you need help with, let's get to work. Make sure y'all checking out my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato App Millionaire Network. Still looking for people for the production company. Still looking for rappers, singers, models, producers, cameraman, women, gamers, streamers, and content creators. Any cameraman or woman in Houston, Texas, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, hit me up on my IG. Let's push out this content and run up a bag. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the notification bell on my YouTube channels and my Twitch. Make sure y'all follow me on my new IG, King Hustle X11.2, for more free sauce, free methods, and information that's going to turn you into a boss. Make sure y'all checking out the crypto world, because it's changing people's lives. And also make sure y'all checking out my music channel, King Hustle X1M. My latest mixtape I just dropped, Hustle and Flow. And I just dropped a new music video, Can't Fuck With Me. Go like, share, comment, subscribe, run the views and comments and them likes up. Dropping new music videos, mixtapes, and albums real soon. So make sure y'all tapped in. Make sure y'all tuned in, ready to run them views in, because we about to crack the algorithm. And with that being said, it's your boy King Hustle. Y'all know how I get down in these videos. I'll see you at the next lesson, video, or live. Peace.